Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Umazi and today I want to talk about how to relocate to Canada with or through a study visa. So this is my first video on YouTube, so welcome. Like, subscribe, share, comment below on what you would like to hear more. I'm going to introduce myself. I'm a healthcare professional. I reside in Ontario, Canada. I'm a public health professional and currently I am doing my master's in psychology with Yorkville University. And I also work with a mental health organization for children between 6 to the age of 12. So let's go back to our today's topic. So how to relocate to Canada through a study visa. First of all, I'm going to give a breakdown. I'm going to talk about the advantages of you relocating to Canada through a study visa. I'm going to tell you what is required, who is eligible, and how to do the process. So first things first, let's talk about the beautiful parts, advantages of coming to Canada through a study visa. So number one, there's something called English tests. To many of us, I'm not a fan of English tests. I've done it before when I was doing my applications for my master's applications in other different countries. I won't mention, but for Canada, you do not need an English test. There's something called IELTS. It is not required in Canada for you to apply for school. So you can apply for school without IELTS. The other bit, there's no age limits. As long as you've completed your high school, whether you've done your other masters, whether you've done your undergrad, whether you've done a diploma, a certificate, you are eligible. As long as you have high school credentials plus any other, you can apply for school in Canada. The other thing is your spouse. If you have family, you have spouse, if you have children, you are allowed to apply or to come to Canada with them as you're coming to study in Canada. So you can apply for your spouse. The advantage of it is your spouse is going to be given an open work visa, something called an open work visa. So they'll be able to work full-time and they'll be supporting you as well, to raise your school fees, to raise your upkeep, to raise, So, and then if you have children, you can relocate with your children, and your children, they're gonna be studying for free, especially if they're children under the age of 18. Canada supports education, free education, so they're going to be receiving free education. And then another way, it is the fastest. Let me tell you from experience, I've done this before. It is the fastest, safest route to come to Canada. And the other bit that is very exciting, this one, for the longest time, international students have been working 20 hours per week. So it was kind of hard for especially if you paid for half the school fees and you want to raise the extra school fees, or you want to raise your accommodation, your upkeep, your transport. It was a bit challenging, and you were only allowed, as an international student, you were only allowed to work for 20 hours per week. But right now, you can work full-time as an international student. So they passed that law. So all international students, they are allowed to work full-time. If you have a spouse, if you don't have a spouse, if you have a spouse, the spouse also will be working full-time. It's a plus. You guys will be adding your finances together, and then you'll be supporting each other, especially for the person going to school. If you don't have a spouse, you alone working full-time, you'll be able to raise your school fees, you'll be able to raise your upkeep. That is if you have not paid full-time. For the whole course, because most of the diploma courses, I'll say they go for 1 year. So let's say you paid for a whole year, then you won't be worried. You'll just be doing your savings and adding into your upkeep, blah, 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 supporting your family back home. But if you paid half the school fees, if the school has accepted you to pay half of the school fees, then you'll be able to raise school fees for the next term or semester. So those are some of the highlights that, you know, advantages of you coming to Canada through a study visa. So let's see what's required for you to come. Like, what are the documents, what are the requirements, what are the qualifications. First things first, scout for the school. Get to know what school am I going to, and then the other thing, like, what course am I going to do in Canada. So you need to know the school, you need to know the course that aligns to your career, blah blah blah, and then you apply to the school. Once you receive your application, pardon me, like once you receive your acceptance letter from the school, you can now start the visa application process. For the visa application process, I think I need a sip. For the visa application process, you need to show the offer letter from the school. So I'm going to give you a little tip for the visa, for you to, like, you know, increase your chances of getting approved for study visa from the embassy. You need to show that you are able to pay for the course, right? So if you have the funds, let's say the whole course for that year is 1.2 million or 11,000 Canadian dollars. I'm gonna talk in Canadian dollars because I don't know which country you're watching from. So I'm gonna talk in Canadian dollars. Let's say, for example, that course costs $11,000 for the whole year. If you are able to pay that $11,000, then it increases the chances of you getting that approved for that study visa. If you're not able to pay, it's okay. You can make arrangement with the school, and then they're gonna let you know whether you're going to pay for one semester, and then the next semester you're going to pay the rest of the money. All right. So the next thing, you've shown your acceptance letter, you've shown your proof of funds, that you are able to cater for those funds. The other thing you need to do is submit a statement of purpose to the embassy. Show evidence or why, give them a reason why you want to come and study in Canada. You need to do that. And then once you have that, complete the forms and submit. So you need to have a proof of funds, you need to have acceptance letter, you need to have a statement of purpose, your ID, your passport, and then you submit those applications or those forms to the embassy, and then you wait for the approval of the embassy to give you the study visa. There we're done. So once you do that, sorry, I keep referring to my notes so that I do not miss anything. So once you do that, then you're good to go. If you'd like us to support you, if you'd like our agency to support you, then you can reach out. We do a lot of career advice, career coaching, trying to, like, scout for schools for you, align, try to see the marketable ones, which courses can you do, so that, you know, once you graduate, you'll be able to get a job without hustling. You won't be frustrated, like, oh my god, I was doing nursing and now I have to do engineering for me to get a job, or for me to just come to Canada. So we try to guide you step by step on the whole process in details, one-on-one sessions, like what do you need, what is required, what career aligns with my goals, what is the most marketable course that I can take, so that once I graduate, I'll be able to get a work permit. One thing I didn't mention as I conclude this is, when you apply for school, when you get accepted, when you land in Canada, you've done your course, you've completed your course, you've graduated. If you do the first year, then you are eligible to apply for a work permit as well. So you can, once you graduate, you apply for work permit. If you've done one course, they'll give you a work permit for 1 year, I believe. Then if you do 2 courses, you get 3 years work permit. But yes, you can always renew your work permit. So once you finish your first course, once you graduate, then you are eligible to apply for a work permit. You work for 1 year. If you have completed 1 year postgraduate, then you are eligible to apply for a permanent residence. Once you get your permanent residence, then you are allowed to work anywhere in Canada. You can sponsor your parents to come and visit you, to come and stay with you for even more than 8 months. You can sponsor your children to come and join you. You can sponsor your spouse. Let's say you are not able to come with a spouse earlier when you are studying because of costs and expenses. Once you get your work permit or your permanent residence, then you're eligible. You are allowed to sponsor them. So this is where I'm gonna conclude my video. Like, comment, share. Let me know what you would like to hear. Let me know what you would like to talk about, you would like me to talk about next on my next video. Comment below and I will create a video, or I'll make a video on it. Follow me on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm gonna leave my handles down below on the description box. And until next time, bye.